Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early September 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these lovely Virgos in their birthday season, might I add? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo, early September. What's the vibe? And while we get this card out, I just want to wish you all a very happy birthday from me to you, whether it's already passed, whether it's still coming up. I really hope you have a great one. You deserve it. So best wishes from me. Okay, all right. This is an interesting card that popped out for you. And to me, it's kind of like a bit of a jolt. It's called Wake Up. And I don't see this one often with this deck. Now, it is absolutely beautiful and aesthetically pleasing. So that does give me a little clues for certain things and areas that could be important. There is something about looks, presentation, aesthetics that I really like in the energy, but it's jolting for one reason. Now, before we fully dive into it, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the September subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about the card. So we see lovely Alice here, beautiful color schemes. She doesn't look frightened. She doesn't look startled, but to me, just the way the energy looks, it's like bright and vibrant. It's in her face. So for a lot of you in this time, we could go with the aesthetics initially. For some of you, maybe you're changing something about your look. Maybe it's the wardrobe. Maybe it's how you present yourself. There's just something about presentation that can be important. But as far as the jolting energy goes, this could be a whole bunch of different things popping up out of the blue. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see similar things within the reading itself, where it's like, oh, this person popped up, then that situation popped up. It's like the universe throwing curveballs, which I feel like I've seen for you for a few weeks. They don't necessarily feel bad, though, with this card. Maybe they're welcome surprises. That's how it's feeling to me. It could also be realizations. That's another thing I'm getting, especially since it like jolted me. So whether it's like connecting the dots with situations, aha moments, eureka moments, those are always good. So if you're an idea person, you might have some really good ones. We're just going to leave her over there. I feel like I could keep talking about that card, but let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say with that first one, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my beautiful Virgo friends. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled The Massive Payoff. Beautiful. I love that kind of energy, especially in your birthday season, where either a process seems to work out in your favor, or your hard work, or your patience, like something pays off in the long run. That's what I think we were seeing last week, where we weren't just looking at the weekly energy, we were looking at big picture type of thinking. So that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks, but we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Virgo to start. What do we have for our good friends in their birthday season? Thank you. Okay, and the energy's on the go. I can tell you that. Now, the 8 of Cups in position number 1 is not like it would be on the back end. I know classically this is a card that's usually moving away from something, but remember, this is our very first card. It's just indicating action. Let's get a couple more. Okay, now this one's a little more measured. Think before you act, plan before you make a move. There's just something about that type of energy that's showing up strong here. Let's get one more for my Virgos. Good. King of Wands, you have a lot of fire this week. Now, that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. The energy on the back end seems much more controlled and purposeful. But the energy on the front end Seems a little wild to me. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I know I was giving a little commentary as the cards were popping out. But I always look at the elements first. And there's just a lot of action here, at least underneath the surface, with the wake up card in the beginning. And now we have double fire here on the back end. Now, wands, fire, that's the realm of action, movement, desire, passion, people making moves, right? That's a big thing with the fire suit. Um, it could be a little unpredictable sometimes. That's one thing I always say. That's why I'm happy that we have the King of Wands and the Two of Wands, because they seem to be trying to keep everything under wraps, or they're trying to keep a lid on something. But the fire energy can be nice. I just feel like the energy is moving in so many different directions, and this is just trying to contain it. I mean, we do have water here with the Eight of Cups. Water is the realm of feelings and emotions. So, like, there is this spontaneous type of energy. I don't want to say risk taker just yet, but the energy to me just feels like it's going on feeling, where logic might need to get injected. We're getting very specific so far, but let's go through this and build this out piece by piece. Position number one, we are starting with the Eight of Cups. So again, we're just gonna jump in here with this card, and classically, we see the person, they're walking away from those Eight Cups, going towards the Nine. Right? It's nighttime, it's dark, there's a moon, and this person seems to be going off into the unknown. Now, yes, classically, this can represent moving away from something, recoiling your energy, walking away from something. So, for some of you, maybe that's the case. Maybe there's a situation, a thought process, habits that you're trying to resolve. But to me, especially in position number one, it's just someone making a move. And the fact that it's like going off into the unknown, and there's so much mystery, and then we add in the fire, to me, it just feels very spontaneous. I don't want to say it feels risky, but it's someone that's acting before they fully think it through. So that could sometimes be a bit of a warning. Sometimes that pays off, right? Sometimes gambles and risk and stuff like that, they do pay off. So you might have a bit more of a gambling streak in you in this time, or wanting to try your luck. I don't know why that's coming through. In the rough sense, the Eight of Cups can sometimes represent abandoning things, giving up on things too quickly, too early. So watch out for that, abandonment issues in general. So we'll look into it further. We don't need to really focus in on it for the whole reading. So we're going to get that tucked in right by the amethyst. And remember, it's just action, but it's either action that's coming out of nowhere, or it's action that doesn't even know what it's doing. It's like, all right, well, I got to do something. Moving to the middle, we have the Two of Wands, a much more reserved type of energy. So although it's fire, and that is also the realm of action and movement, this is one of my biggest cards of strategy and planning. Now, yes, twos in tarot can represent decisions, choices, being at a crossroads, make or break. Do I go left? Do I go right? Early portions of a journey can represent distance and travel, all that good stuff. But the Two of Wands to me is not making a move until it has a solid plan in place. So whereas this energy is just going off into the unknown, and Two of Wands is like, whoa, 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 hold on, let's think this through. So I'm not sure if there's something you're pausing to think about, or you're doing a lot of research, or it's like, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it right. It's like giving me that kind of energy. Now, the issue with the Two of Wands sometimes could represent over planning, analysis paralysis, looking at something a little too hard. So, yeah, there could be some observation and watching going on with this card, too. Whether you're keeping an eye on something, someone's keeping an eye on you. But the roughest part of it, it could be someone that stays in planning mode but never gets to the action, right? It could be an energy that could stall out sometimes. And it can also be very unpredictable, just like the Eight of Cups in the front. So, although the energy seems to be trying to contain itself here, I feel like there is a potential for it to go a little wild. Now, on the back end, the reason I love this card is because of all the aforementioned stuff we were seeing up here. We got our good pal here, the King of Wands. Now, for some of you, might be connected to a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And kings represent control of their respective suits. So naturally, the King of Wands, the realm of action, movement, passion, desire, usually keeps a lid on these things, where it's like, okay, I'm not going to let something get out of hand. I'm not going to let it get out of control. I'm going to focus my energy. I'm not going to waste my energy. I'm going to focus it and put it where it's most useful. That's the best aspect of him. He's very entrepreneurial too. He's a big shot caller, and he makes the right calls. So you could be stepping into this energy, but at the same time, the King of Wands is also liable to say, you know what, screw it, screw the plan. I'm just going to do this. So there's like this interesting undertone this week of an energy that's either wanting to try its luck or could. So it's I want to dive deeper on all of it, Virgo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What's happening? It's very unique. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Eight of Cups. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, you can put it down in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, let's get this Eight of Cups going. Why is it here? Why is it in the mix? Okay. Yeah, this is a should I, shouldn't I? Or okay, it's giving me a couple different things, and I'm just going to give you both of the messages. You only take what hits. And remember, it could be somebody else. Notice we have more fire. So all the stuff that I was saying about this stuff up here still plays. It still carries. Now, the Eight of Cups with the Knight of Wands in reverse could be unsure, where it's like, should I? Shouldn't I? Should I do this? Should I do that? Did I do the right thing? Did I do the wrong thing? It's like waffling. It's flip-flopping back and forth. So for some of you, there could be a decision or a situation where it's like, I'm not quite sure how to handle this. Should I do this or should I do nothing? It's like giving me that kind of vibe. But I'm also getting an energy of someone that's just like slowly stepping back and like trying to make it so no one notices. Like, if you're ever in a group situation and people start fighting and someone just like, so I'll see myself out, or that meme of Homer Simpson like disappearing into the bush. Some of you might have seen it, right? I think it's hilarious. That's how this feels to me as well. I don't want to get too off topic. So to me, it's either an unsure energy that's waffling and flip flopping. So again, I'm not saying to you, it could be someone else where they're unsure what to do, unsure what they want, very much back and forth, or it's an energy that's like slowly seeing itself out. Very unique here, Virgo. We're going to keep it moving, just like Homer Simpson walking backwards into the bush. All right, let's go in on the Two of Wands. For those of you that don't know what that is, just Google it. Homer Simpson bush meme. All right, Two of Wands. Let's go in on that. Enough of that. So why is the Two of Wands here? For Virgo, please. Thank you. Okay. So a strategic approach is absolutely the best case scenario. Obviously, there is something, process or a situation where it's like, no, this should not be rushed, because now we're adding some air to the mixture. We have the Three of Swords in reverse underneath the Two of Wands, where it's like, oh, I want to make sure everything's perfect. I want to make sure everything's right. I want to avoid the Three of Swords. Now, this could be because someone has a lot of wisdom and a lot of experience at seeing pitfalls and seeing where things can go left, see things where they could go right. So I like this energy because it feels very cautious to me, whereas this one in the front feels a little indecisive, a little unsure. This one has an overabundance of caution, which I feel like is balancing things out. Now, the Three of Swords in reverse is a very healing type of energy. I love seeing it here, especially under the Two of Wands, because it's like, no, I don't want to make a mistake. And with all the things I've been seeing about action and being a daredevil and the risk and all this type of stuff, there could be a potential for somebody to do something they regret. Okay, there could be. There could be a potential mistake in the air. But when I see the Two of Wands with the Three of Swords, it gives you the best shot at avoiding that. So anything you might be dealing with, whether it's career, personal relationship, the structured, plan-based approach is the best, because it will help you avoid most pitfalls. Okay? And this could even be advice that you want to give to somebody else, because there's such a razor thin line in the energy this week where, yeah, somebody could potentially do something they regret if they handle it the wrong way. So there could be a potential mistake in the air, or someone that feels like they did. But I like this plan-based type of energy. I think I saw something very similar in the Libra reading where it's like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I need to do this right. I need to plan this out. Let's go in on the King of Wands. We'll see what he has. Then we'll do a quick recap. Intriguing reading. This isn't usually what I get for you, my friends. So lots of fire, lots of air, lots of explosive energy, lots of unsure energy. It's like it's here, there, and everywhere this week. But I don't think it's bad. Let's see what the King of Wands has. Then we'll do a quick recap. So why is the King here? Justice in the upright. Beautiful. Karmic. Balanced approach. So there could be something where it's like you need to take your time here. um, Very important, very serious, where it's like you have to take your time with something. Now, for some of you, that might not make sense right now. This could be something that comes up over the next week or so, but there could be something that is either on your plate or will be soon where spirit is like, you have to take your time. Do not rush. Because especially what we saw here in the beginning, like where someone could potentially do something they regret, or we potentially see a mistake with like the waffling in the front. Lady Justice is very balanced, but at the same time, she is air. So we have a lot of fire, a lot of air, a lot of volatility, where it's like, all right, even if someone does have a cap on this and everything does seem to be in control, the energy is just razor thin. It's razor thin, where it could go this way, it could go that way, it could go right, or it could take a big old left. That's how it feels. Now, Lady Justice, Libra energy is usually very balanced, precise, calm. And with the King of Wands, there is a situation where it's like if you take the more precise, slow route, beautiful results here for you. Um, but I don't know why the energy just feels so razor thin. Now, Lady Justice could sometimes be decisions, choices, big karmic type of energy. But I feel like it just reinforces the theme that we've been seeing since the middle, where it's like, no, you shouldn't wing it. No, you shouldn't just go on instinct alone. Sometimes that's a good thing. But with the energy I'm seeing this week, it's like, no, you need to slow it down. You need to go really, really slow. There's a caution here in the energy this week, because it could go left. It could, especially with all the explosive action. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. So super unique way of your energy. Or I mean, this could be someone else around you. It's just showing very unique as opposed to what I usually get for you. But position number one, we have the Eight of Cups with the Knight of Wands in reverse. Now, to me, two main messages here. Either it's someone that's very back and forth. They're like waffling. Should I do this? Should I do that? Did I do the right thing? Did I do the wrong thing? It's just very unsure. It's like balancing something in its head. And I also, at the same time, get an energy that's like slowly backing away and trying not to cause a fuss. Moving to the middle, I have the Two of Wands with the Three of Swords in reverse. Yes, please, whatever it is that you're dealing with, plan it out nice and slow. Do not rush. You can avoid a lot of pitfalls. You can avoid a lot of mistakes that are in the potential energy if you just take your time. There's just something here about keeping it slow, keeping it meticulous. So whether you're planning or someone else is, that's the better approach here. And it could be because whoever this is has a lot of experience and wisdom. Moving to the back end, we have the King of Wands and Lady Justice in the upright, even more of a double down of what we've already said, that listen, the energy is razor thin this week, where it's like, okay, it could go smooth, silky smooth, perfect, or it could take a left real quick. But if you take the slow paced, planned out, structured approach, that's the best, hands down. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What's going on with my Virgos? And yes, I always like to pull one of these at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. Let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What's in the shadows for Virgo, please? Thank you. Yeah, I'm not surprised by even more fiery energy. It's like we have almost the whole Wands royal family this week. So we have the Queen of Wands. So remember, queens represent the internal of the suit. So all the stuff we've been saying about fire and the razor thin energy, where it could go left or it could go right, the Queen of Wands embodies that in a very big way. Now, for some of you, this could represent confidence issues. So whether it's confidence within yourself or confidence in another person, confidence in a situation, her in the shadows could be shaken confidence in one way or another. Usually she's beautiful and confident and firm. I love her energy when she's in the upright, but at the same time, she just has this fiery nature to her. And when I was seeing it all throughout the reading, that we had some warnings that, like, oh, listen, you don't want to just go with the gut. You want to have to really plan something out and take your time. The Queen of Wands really embodies that further. So I would say in any situation, it's like, don't just go off reaction. So we're going to leave her at that. That's what I have for you this week, Virgo. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the September subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you could book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The September calendar is already live, so we could have ourselves a little chat. But for the September subscriber surprise, giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks ever, the Everyday Witches Tarot. It's great for beginners and experienced readers. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the zodiac signs, which ones do you get along best with? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As usual, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.